Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda, and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And I am so excited for you today to see my collaboration with my sweet friend Melinda from Ivy Dolled. And on her channel, she does decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls. And she also does cooking videos on Fridays. And I will put the link to her channel in my description box. And we will be creating some snowman DIYs for you today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so for our first DIY, I have this rope from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and just cut it in half. And then I'm going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm going to use some Mod Podge. So I'm going to start off by hot gluing the rope into a circle. Basically, I'm going to create a couple of coasters. I love creating coasters for the holidays. And while I was cleaning up my craft room, I looked at this rope and I thought, that would be interesting to create a coaster out of. So here we are, creating a coaster. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the hot glue to glue it all together to get the shape that I want. And then once everything is hot glued all together, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to use some of my, I think I'm going to use the outdoor Mod Podge. It is thicker than the normal Mod Podge. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply that to my coaster. Now I did add, I think I put a little bit too much, but I did want this to stay together and I wanted it to be protected. So I'm going to start off by applying the Mod Podge first before I add any paint or any markers to create my snowman face, only because I didn't want it to smear, and I didn't want it to kind of just not stay in the place where I wanted it to be. So this is what the finished product looked like before I started to draw my snowman face. So here I have I have a black paint marker. I could not find my orange paint marker. I think it might be in my shed. So I'm going to use an orange Sharpie. And so I have this little wooden piece that I'm going to go ahead and trace out my eyes. And so once I have that, my eyes traced out, I'm going to go ahead and use my black paint pen, and I'm going to go ahead and start to color in my eyes. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my mouth, and I'm going to use a Sharpie to create my nose. And then that's going to be it for the DIY as far as that part goes. And then I let it dry for almost 2 days, because I just wanted to make sure that when I went back to go cover it with another coat of Mod Podge, that that it didn't smear. And the paint marker did not, but the Sharpie did a little bit. So once I have everything drawn in, so here I am, and this was kind of difficult to do because it's not a flat surface, so it did take a little bit of time with me trying to color in the eyes and draw the mouth and the nose, but I still think that they came out cute, and I wanted to really make sure that they were protected, so that's why I did this the way that I'm doing it. So this is what it looks like currently. And then, like I said, a couple of days later, I went back and went over it with another coat of Mod Podge. Now the second coat of Mod Podge, I'm just going to use regular matte Mod Podge because I wanted to try and take off some of the shine. But and I didn't do as much. I just did like a really thin layer just to make sure that everything was protected. And that is going to be it for this DIY. So you'll have to let me know what you think. So for DIY number 2, this is my inspiration picture that I'm using, or my dupe that I'm going to use. So I have this frame that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I've had it for several years now. And then I went online on Etsy and I found this print, and I paid $3.40 or $3.25 for it. And so I went ahead and sent it over to Walgreens to have them print out the poster for me, and I ended up paying $6 for the poster. I think the original price of the picture at Kirkland's was I think it was $69.99, and then there was a 15% off coupon, so it still would have been like over 50 bucks. And so I figured this was the best match of that picture. And then here's my frame. So here I'm just trying to make sure that everything fits properly before I go ahead and cut everything. So now that I have it cut, I'm going to just use this little razor blade X-Acto knife from Dollar Tree to go ahead and cut the excess off of the poster, and I'm going to go back and add my frame, and that's going to be it for this DIY. I actually thought about staining the frame, but the frame on the Kirkland's picture is like almost the same color, so I just decided to leave it. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. I absolutely love it, and I really love the price of this DIY. Okay, so we are moving on to our last and final DIY for today. So I have these pumpkins that I was going to use for a fall DIY, but I never got to it, so I am going to use this to make a snowman. So I started off by taking the pumpkins and I spray painted them with some of the white Rust-Oleum spray paint, and then I went back and gave them a coat of the satin. So here I am now. I'm going to be using one of those seafoam sponges and some plaster paint. I'm just going to dab all over all of my pumpkins. I like to use these seafoam sponges because it gives the whatever it is that you're using, it gives it texture. So as you can see here, and this is what it looks like after everything is completely dry. So I have this scrap fabric that I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it into I'm going to make a flower using this fabric. So here I am, just kind of, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to just do like a small triangle, and then I am going to roll it a little bit just to make the little bud on the inside. And then I'm just going to start to twist and roll it to create my flower. I do have a video of me making flowers, so I'll probably go ahead and just I'll go ahead and link that video so that you all can see how I made it, and it'll give you better directions or instructions. So I'm just here just twisting everything together. Then I decided I probably should use some hot glue. It's easier to use ribbon with the it's easier to create these flowers using ribbon than it is to use fabric, but I wanted to use this ribbon. So, and I think this is like the, not ribbon, excuse me, this is homespun fabric. So this is what my flower is currently looking like. I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the excess, and then I have this hat that came from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and just tied a little bow on top of the hat, and I'm going to go ahead and hot glue my flower to the top of my hat. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and create my nose. So I have this craft stick, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut it to the size, and then I'm going to kind of like just cut the tip of it a little bit, not the tip, but like on top of it, just to give it some little jagged edges like you would see like on a carrot. And then once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and use some of the pumpkin paint, and I'm going to mix it with some of the burnt umber paint. And I'm just going to just dab it all over my nose until I'm happy with my results. So once I'm finished painting my nose and it's and I have it drying, I'm going to go ahead and start to create my face. So here I am just trying to make sure that my hat, everything fits. And I'm just going to try and place everything on just to make sure that it looks like how I want it to look. So here I am just adding my little hat. I think it's so cute. And so my buttons came from, there's like a little, well, we don't have it here anymore, but we used to have like a little antique store here. And a couple years back, I went in and brought a mason jar that was filled with buttons. So these are some of the buttons that came from that store. And there's my little nose. I'm going to go ahead and start to apply my face to my snowman using some hot glue. And then the other buttons, some of these buttons are a mixture from, none of my buttons match, but these are a mixture of some Dollar Tree buttons and buttons from the antique store. So I'm going to use 5 buttons total. So I'm going to go ahead and start to hot glue those to create my mouth. Now I was going to add a little bit of pink paint just to give it some cheeks, but I actually did not. So I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I've had this snowman sitting in my living room for probably about the past 2 weeks, maybe close to 3 weeks. And I still can't decide if I want to give it pink cheeks or not. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start to assemble my snowman. And so I have this scarf that came from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and cut it in half just because it was just too thick and it was covering the mouth. But now I'm going to go ahead and start to add my buttons. So I have some scraps of that homespun fabric. So I went ahead and just cut 3 little squares. And I'm going to be using 3 buttons that came from the antique store. And I'm going to go ahead and attach those using some hot glue to my snowman. And then once I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and stand it back up, or stand her up, because I believe I'm going to say she's a snow woman. So here I am just trying to get my buttons the way I want them. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those onto my pumpkin, or snowman, excuse me, or snow woman. And I'm going to go ahead and tie my scarf. So here you'll see the scarf is, even with me cutting it in half, it's still a little bit too big. So I did go back and cut the half into another half. And then the rest of the scarf, I went ahead and placed that inside of my hat just to give it some volume. So you'll see me do that here. And I'm going to go ahead and add just a little dab of hot glue on both sides to be able to keep the hat on. And that is going to be it for this. Actually, it's not going to be it for this DIY, sorry. So here I'm just trying to fluff the hat up, and then I decided it needed something else. So I have these picks. I've had these picks for I don't even know how many years, but they came from Joann's. So I decided to use these picks to create my arms. So I went ahead and used my hot glue gun and created some holes, and now I'm going to go ahead and just stick my picks inside to create my arms, and she's so stinking cute. And then I went back and grabbed some of my fairy lights, because if you have been with me since I started my channel, you know that I love to use fairy lights in just about any and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply my fairy lights. I did take it apart, so I'm just going to tape my fairy lights into just different sections into my snow woman. And friends, that is it for today's video. Again, my name is Tawanda, and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And on my channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. I also do sister luck updates and lifestyle updates. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support my channel. I do really appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoyed today's collaboration with my sweet friend Melinda from IBDolled. I will go ahead again and put the link to her channel in my description box. Please go ahead and watch her video. And if you're coming from my channel, please let her know that you are coming from Tawanda's Blessed Life channel. I would like to thank you all for spending part of your day with me. And if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.